Welcome back to the PG-DND podcast. Sorry, I've been a little under the weather this week, so my voice might crack. I'm your host and Dungeon Master Jefferson Beatty, joined by
Zane. I play Theseus.
Matt, I play Adelphos the Great.
Tyson, I play Alondros.
Shay, I play Thalassa.
Connor, I play Vedius.
Last week. Theseus, Adelphos, Thalassa, and Vidius followed their lead in discovering the Cult of Thorns northward into the Setessan woods. Hoping to find their kidnapped friend, they encountered a surprise visit by a goddess, Karametra. She spoke with Adelphos and gifted him a white rose, which turned black in the sunlight. And it was in that conversation she informed him that if the party did not hurry, they would not be able to make it in time to save their friend. So you rushed through the day, each getting 1 point of exhaustion, and discovered a cult happening around large stones with fires built on top of them. After trying to deceive the satyr revelers, Vidius was quickly discovered by the head satyr, Declan, who then proceeded to begin a fight. Declan knocked out Adelphos with his powerful horns, but not before sustaining nearly mortal wounds. You finished off the remainder cultists. You rescued Alondros, who seemed to be under some sort of condition by mushrooms that you think were growing in this place. After rescuing him, you left one alive to question them, but Theseus, for an unexplained reason, killed him. And that's where we left off.
Why did you kill this man?
I have a look of confusion on my face after the act happened. And I say, to be honest, I felt like my blood was boiling with hate. There was a flash of red and I lost total control. And then I just acted without reason or control.
Could I roll a Arcana or a medicine check to see if he was influenced in some way?
Yeah, I would go Arcana for that.
Okay.
Arcana or Insight.
Okay. Do you mind if I check you out to see if you may have been possessed or taken over by a wizard? It appears that this man that we were fighting was magical, and maybe he influenced you in some way as his spirit was leaving his body, or something perchance.
Take a stab at it.
Great. And I kind of go over and I check his glands and, do all the...
Glands?
Oh my goodness! Like your neck glands and feel behind your head.
Put the back of your head to his forehead.
Yeah, just, like doctors do and stuff. That's a 12.
He seems in tip-top shape, but you can't glean that he was charmed in any way. Because you are a bard and you know about the charm person spell and know how to charm people through magic, you can tell easily that he wasn't possessed or charmed by magic.
Okay. Interesting. You don't appear to be influenced by any form of magic that I am familiar with.
Well, I'd say as I get up and walk towards the body that he killed, Iroas will be lenient.
Well, he certainly wasn't killed with honor.
Thalassa, when you first got here, you were a bit distracted by what was going on with everything, and you are beginning to sense more what this place is. You have divine sense, right? Mm-hmm. You kind of get this as well, Theseus, because you are a paladin, despite being a paladin of conquest. You both can tell that this place was once sacred, but is now defiled.
any of you feel that we should be on our way, or should we investigate further?
Can I check the bodies to see if they have any gold?
Yes, you can. You'll be doing this while this other conversation's happening. Roll investigation.
In true murder hobo fashion, I would like to go through their pockets.
That's 11.
These people were there for a ritual, so all you find on them is
Mushrooms.
their masks. No mushrooms. All you find on them is their masks and the clothes that they were wearing.
I would rather not linger here. By the way, thank you all for saving me. I was beginning to worry.
I just feel around here it's kind of heavy.
I feel that
The
too.
atmosphere.
Roll me a religion check,
I
Thalassa.
don't really mind it.
13.
You get the sense that Karametra appeared to you guys for a reason.
What is this you guys you are talking about? I'm just kidding.
Who are you talking to?
He's over there looting bodies, like, talking to the dead guy.
Who said that?
What do you mean, you guys?
You guys are dead!
What's wrong with you?
Is he mocking them?
And Karametra.
Yeah, it was the one that appeared to
showed-
Adelphos.
Yes. Did your goddess tell you anything else when she appeared to you?
She's not my goddess, but she said that all we needed to do was go because there wasn't much time to save Landros. And that's it. Can I roll a history check to see if there's anything else?
Yeah, you can.
14.
You know enough about the gods that they are usually self-serving. And the things that they ask their champions to do, or others, are to further their own purposes. And so you can assume that she didn't tell you to hurry necessarily so that Alandros would be saved, but so that you could catch them in whatever act that they're doing and put a stop to it.
Did you maybe get the sense that she wants this place to become sacred again?
When you say she, whom are you talking about?
Karametra, goddess. She approached me in her human form, I assume.
This Karametra, was she by chance covered in vines and wearing what appears to be a large hat of some kind?
She was wearing a hat. She wasn't covered in vines. She definitely, well, she had plants, but she wasn't covered in vines.
Interesting.
I don't know why she would approach me. What else she would want us to do.
Has anyone else seen her?
Well, I have.
When did you see her?
She appeared to me in a dream, was it? Not moments before you came, it appeared to me.
While you were tied up?
Yes.
You remember that you
Or was
weren't...
it the day before?
It was the day before.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're still probably tied up, though. So.
Yes, it's all been quite a blur. I actually do not know how long I've been here.
Might you tell us your dream?
Well, from what I remember, she approached me and she discussed with me that these are not her followers, even though they claim to be, and that I can deduce that this place was probably once sacred, as you say, and she talked about nature being good and could bring much power to those who utilize it.
Well, has anybody else seen Karametra?
Nope.
No.
What was your encounter like?
I was on watch as we were making our way. We had stopped, and I was the last one. It was the early morning, and I noticed a figure in the grove of trees. I wasn't sure who it was at first, but then I reached into my memory banks and found out it was Karametra, and then she told me that we needed to find you.
Interesting. Is that how you knew where to find me?
That's how we need to come faster.
She said if we didn't hurry, then you would die.
Speaking of hurrying, maybe we should...
Do we
Out of here.
need to do anything to cleanse this place?
Do you want to roll a religion check to see? Or
Yes,
someone else.
But also, during this whole conversation, I have been wanting to have scrape some of those mushrooms into the bag.
Do you want to do it sneakily?
Yes.
Okay, so roll a stealth check for that first.
And I would have put my hood up.
Okay. It's just a straight roll because you're exhausted.
Yeah, no, that's not very sneaky. That would be an 8.
I believe everyone's passive perception is over 8.
Probably.
So, when Vidius says this, is there anything we need to do to make this place holy? He's actually on the other side of this large obelisk, and you can hear the distinctive sound of knife on stone as he's scraping something.
Whistling while he works. He's like,
Yeah, pretty much.
maybe let's get on the road, and I feel that we have more to discuss, and maybe...
But does anyone want to do a religion check to see if there's anything they can do for
Sorry, getting ahead of myself.
Could I actually do identify on the pillar itself?
Sure.
Can I cast as a ritual? It'll take about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
with everyone? Okay.
Who is your god or goddess, Alejandros?
Bifara.
You take 10 minutes, you sit down and begin to meditate a little bit, sort of taking in the area around you. And as you do so, you can just feel the weight of this evil area. You do the ritual. There's not any specific magic affecting it, but you know that there is some sort of force attached to this area.
Well, it appears that our conclusions are correct, that there is a negative power that is holding this place. The goddess spoke to 2 of us. I feel as though we could at least follow through. I'd rather not have a mad goddess on our tails.
I agree.
I believe my goddess would enjoy the change that we make here. I say let's do it.
What I don't understand is why would she approach champions that weren't even from her own followers to help her?
Well, many gods utilize us mortals to do their bidding, whether we are followers of one god or the other. They just each have their own goals and their own purposes, and I guess we just fit the bill.
We are some mighty fine religious folk.
I think Landros is very correct in saying that we are just pawns in the gods' games.
Being a pawn is definitely part of life.
If you choose.
Is there anything specific you'd like to do this?
If we put out the fires on top of the rocks...
The fires are still burning.
We should put out the fires on top of the rocks.
Okay.
Probably a good start.
You begin to knock down these fires that are built on top of the rocks, and in doing so, spilling the wood and thus putting the fires out. As the fires go away, you notice for the first time that when the fires are gone, the whole place is still nearly illuminated with the beautiful stars of Nyx, which you know is the realm of the gods, the heavens. And what has been covered by mainly trees as you've journeyed here is now completely visible in this open glade, with a mountain shadow in the background, and it is beautiful.
Reminds me of my days in the Colosseum, waiting, looking up at the stars while in a cage, finding out the next day if I would live or die. Brings back memories. Some good, some definitely not.
That sounds like a horrible upbringing.
That was the only bit of comfort before I had the next day. Nothing wrong in the stars.
Which you would know as a follower of Iroas, the stars in Theros, I mean everybody knows this, the stars in Theros actually change frequently. There's never constant constellations, because the myth is that Iroas and Mogus are locked in battle in the heavens. And each time they strike a shield with a spear, or break mountains with their wrestling, it creates new constellations.
Who are Iroas and Mogus?
Iroas and Mogus are the gods of war. Mogus is the god of war and chaos. Iroas is the god of war in victory. And legend has it that they used to be one singular god who was so tormented about the different sides of warfare, split himself into 2 beings that became brothers. And some say that a follower of Mogus and a follower of Iroas could unite the gods again into one. But that's just what people say. Okay, so you see Nyx. It's illuminating this whole place. Is there anything else you do other than put out these fires?
I think I would go up to that main
Obelisk, yeah.
and put both of my hands on it and start to say prayer in efforts to try to make it feel more holy and light.
I love it. You can see Thalassa with her hands on the obelisk, muttering a small prayer. You can actually see the plants at her feet begin to grow denser.
So I'll just kind of give her space for now.
Everybody roll me an insight check except for Thalassa.
7.
1.
Everyone but Theseus
Solid.
notice Thalassa's prayer, and they notice this greenery growing at her feet. But the prayer seems incomplete.
I'll go over and just kind of sit on the opposite end of her, and I'll begin to play my pan flute.
Perfect.
I'll probably kneel, stab my sword in the ground, and just pray.
Okay. Vidius.
Stand up, go sit on creating a circle, but begrudgingly.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Theseus really wouldn't be paying attention. His thoughts would be more upon the road and the next step. Maybe just packing things.
Okay. So, you 4 roll me a religion check. It does not have to be with disadvantage.
Nat 20, which then would be 23.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
2.
2 and 5. As you begin to pray and do your various things, you see where all 4 of you are, the plant life begins to grow denser and thicker. And then you see small bits of light irradiate from where you are standing, almost traveling through the plants themselves. And you see they go to the bodies that you have left, and you see vines begin to wrap over the bodies and almost pull them into the earth. And you see vines begin to grow on the rocks around you, all filled with light. And you see Thalassa, great vines begin to wrap up this obelisk. And as you do so, you see all these mushrooms that were on there, these red toxic mushrooms, begin to shrivel and die as they are replaced in the gouges with these thick green vines, sprouting beautiful leaves and flowers. And Theseus, as you are beginning to pack your things, you kind of see this light at your feet and turn around and see this thing happening. You see light coming from the 4 others. And you have successfully cleansed the garden of Karametra. And you and Theseus, you get this as well. You, Thalassa, feel that this is now a holy site again. And you see on the obelisk, growing right before your eyes, 8 grapes. 4 purple grapes, 4 green grapes. And look very delicious. And you all would know, because you've heard stories of this, in recent history, there was a famine that almost killed the entire population of Theros. And for a week, everybody in Theros, regardless of who they served, prayed to Karametra for relief. And she relieved their suffering through a harvest of grapes.
Grapes, the magical fruit. They bear food and wine.
I would obviously notice everything that happened, and I would look up to the skies and thank Thassa for allowing me to participate in changing a negative to a positive.
Roll me a religion check.
18.
Roll me a d6.
1.
Okay, you get 1 piety.
Question. If
Yeah.
I went and I plucked one of the grapes, would it be considered, disrespectful?
Roll me an insight check with disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Yeah, is this a test?
Roll me an insight check. Disadvantage.
I got a
'cause you're
nat 20.
exhausted. Yeah, I rolled
Oh,
disadvantage. Sorry.
Freaking exhaustion.
I know.
Do it again. I rolled a 1 and a 20 this session. 15. Wait, plus. Sorry, 17.
God, he's solid.
You don't get the feeling that it would be a disgrace.
Okay.
And in fact, thinking on that myth, well, not that myth, but that history, that story of Karametra, and providing relief to people with grapes, this actually appears to be
A gift.
a gift.
Okay.
Religion or insight?
Then I would like to go pick one of
I
the
got-
ones.
I got a 0.
Yeah. These grapes will kill you. No, I'm just kidding. You don't really think anything of it. To you, it's just plants growing because they've been growing, and now the place has changed. Alondros?
Can I cast Identify?
Absolutely.
And not as a
Ritual?
just
Okay.
cast Identify.
On which grape? Because there are 2
I
types.
know, I was hoping you would just let me do it.
Nope. Sorry. It's one object.
Let's do, you said purple and white?
In green.
Or green?
Yeah.
Let's do the purple one.
Alright. You cast Identify on this purple grape,
Mhm.
and you know that it has healing properties. And for intensive mechanics, this will bring you to max HP if consumed.
Interesting.
Will they eventually
Nice.
shrivel up?
No. You don't think so, because they are magic. You don't think that they will spoil.
Can I pluck one of each?
I would suggest these purple ones, they appear to be ones that will heal many sort of ailments. I would suggest maybe not eating them now, and we could save them for future use. I could maybe also study these green ones as well.
That would be much appreciated.
So do you put them in the bag of holding, or does each people take stuff?
I would like to take a grape for myself.
A purple one?
Purple one, yes.
Alright.
Yeah.
So you put the rest in the bag of holding. You know it is now morning, early in the morning, maybe 3 or 4 a.m., but you know that you can rest to get back to full HP, get spell slots back. So if you want to just cast Identify on the green one now, you're about to go to
then
sleep.
yeah, I'll do
So
that.
sweet. The green grape, will boost your vitality in some way. So for mechanic purposes, if you consume the green grape, you roll a d6. Depending on what you roll, one of your abilities will increase permanently by 1.
Oh, hello.
I eat all the grapes in the middle of the night.
The fat hobbit. He ate all the
So it's 1d6 to an ability.
Well, so the 1d6 will determine what ability is increased.
Oh.
And that ability will be increased permanently by 1. So it's a gamble. There's only 4.
And the healing one,
The healing grapes, if you consume it, will take you to max
just
HP.
max HP.
Yep.
There's only 4 of each.
Correct. But you remember there was only 4 people that participated in blessing the ground.
So technically, I guess you don't deserve a grape. I'm just kidding.
That's fair.
You will
That's fair.
survive.
That's fair. I don't want her Karametra's grapes anyway. I would actually feel that way. I
I
don't.
only drink the
Okay.
finest Merlot.
So you put it back into the bag of holding? Alright.
Back at full HP.
Yes, everybody is. Spell slots are back, full HP. Exhaustion is gone.
Yes.
This area is a blessed area, so you sleep very soundly, very well. You also know because it is sacred, it is safe now.
No more watches.
For tonight.
Here. Right here.
Okay, it's the next morning. You wake up.
That was a genuine
Lovely.
yawn, by the way.
Well, what's the plan?
Survive.
Go down to Setessa.
To Setessa!
I think so.
Alright. Remembering the way with your keen mind, Vidius, you know the way back to where you split off with Fella, which was on a road, and so you could assume that once you get to that road, you could follow it into Setessa. It will take about a week for you guys to get there. Fortunately, this forest seems a lot safer than it was before, and you can assume as you guys journey down the slope that this cult of horns, their influence in that Skull of Vale where you just were, actually affected a larger area of Setessa, making it a little more evil than it should be. You're able to stay away from most predators, and you are unmolested as you journey to the road. And so if you'd like to talk amongst yourselves at any point of the travel, now's the time to do that, but I will say that you successfully make it to Setessa without incident. And the last couple days, you do have to ration your food pretty well, because you were only given food for, I think, 10 days.
Yep.
You've been gone longer than that, but you guys will be fine.
How did you find me?
Thella, the general of the Setessan army.
And Vidius got us there.
She told us about the Cult of Horns. kind of the area in which they operate, and then possibly that they might have something to do with your disappearance, in which I'd like to know a little bit more about why you were taken. What happened?
Well, they came to me in the night. They took away my ability to speak through magic and kidnapped me along with other satyrs, and they brought us through this magical tree that brought us here, and they put us through all sorts of hazing of sorts. I was the only one who survived the trials, and I only did that barely, I believe, through the help of Euphora and the other goddess, Karametra. But they are basically a group of satyrs who believe that all other satyrs should live freely, and that the rest of the world who counts themselves as civilized is evil and the wrong and should be destroyed, basically.
So why did they take you?
Because I am a civilized satyr.
A civilized gentleman.
You would get the idea it was for initiation purposes.
Yeah.
Initiate. Oh,
Yeah, they
I
basically
see.
wanted to make me a part of the cult, whether I wanted to be or not.
Oh, that's why they left your soap.
Yes. So, by the way, do I have my soap? And I threw my
we brought it.
Yeah,
Find
yourself.
my soap.
It's been a little used. You can
Yeah.
tell.
There's a hair on it.
Yeah.
There's actually a scale, fish scale.
Yeah.
So, I would very much like to take a bath as we reach our next campsite. Cleanse myself of everything.
Sounds good to me. Stank.
As you guys continue walking, switching who is taking up rear and point, I think Vidius most often takes point, knowing the way back. Theseus, what is your passive perception?
It is 10.
You notice, at some point in the journey, a black rose attached to the outside of Adelphos' pack.
Yeah, just hanging on the outside of it.
It would be, you know how like you can tuck things into a pack and something sticks out? Essentially, in order to protect the rose itself, he tucked it into the top of his pack but left the rose petals on the outside as not to damage them.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I would see this black rose, and I would feel angry. Really kind of get my blood boiling, and I don't know, I would just be angry, upset, and confused, and I would give myself just a moment to cool down. Not really too long, because I still kind of want to explode, but just a moment to gather my thoughts, and I would kind of like grab his pack as to kind of stop him from walking.
Mm-hmm.
A little aggressive, I guess, but not enough to mean harm to him by any means. But I would grab his pack.
Yes,
and
Theseus.
kind of be dumbfounded. Where did you get that rose?
Karametra gave it to me.
When?
When I saw her, it was white, and I held it up to the sun, and it didn't wither, but just faded.
What did she say about it?
Nothing.
She just gave it to you?
She just gave it to me. I don't know what to make of it.
Roll me a perception check, Adelphos. I would assume, Theseus, that as you pulled him aside, you're kind of holding him.
Yeah.
Not like in a I'm going to kill you sort of way.
Right.
What?
A 1.
Nice.
Well, technically a 2, but minus 1.
Okay.
Is there anything I
Nope.
perceive?
Nothing.
Nope.
Not the one. I mean, Theseus is up in your face, and he's kind of grabbed you by the straps of your armor and sort of talking to you like this.
Can you make anything of it? Obviously, you need something from me if you're
It's best
wanting to
to
know.
not keep bad omens about.
Just tuck it back in my pack and then walk away.
All right, you continue on. You hit the road, and you see that there are some travelers there, and as you make your way to Setessa, you hear the clanging and clattering of pots. And you see ahead of you a large cart, stacked in multiple configurations, almost as if it's at the brink of falling in any which way, full of broken swords, broken cartwheels, broken armor, unfunctional candlesticks, plates, spoons, garbage, you name it. And you see pulling this cart, hunched over, a individual wearing a gold mask, which you all would recognize as a returned, someone who has come back from the underworld.
How often does that happen? How many,
Not super often, and more, you would see these more than any others, because they sort of wander the world and collect trinkets of 0 value for some reason. It's like a compulsion. You, Adelphos, have no idea who this person is. You, Thalassa, probably as well. But for those who spent time on land, Theseus, Alandros, Vidius, you would know what this person is.
Do we know if they can communicate?
You know that they really don't speak. It's more gestures and mumbles. And you see as you pass, it stops. The cart gets out of where it was pulling it and walks up to you and puts its hands out in a gesturing motion towards you. And you would know, Alandros, that these people trade for things. And usually it's meaningless stuff. They'll give you a broken spoon in exchange for a sandal strap.
Can I just glance through the cart and see if there's anything good?
Yeah, you can roll an investigation check for that.
When he comes up to me, I just start dancing because I would have no idea.
When you start dancing, it begins to rear back almost in fear and moves
hold
over
up his hands, or hold up my hands. Whoa. So the food that we were given, the rations, did they have some sort of a cloth wrapping or something?
Yeah.
Okay,
It would have been stained with some food,
I'm going to kind of pull it out and gesture it to him.
You see, it takes this stained piece of cloth, obviously one that you would discard at the end, and it inspects it, and you see it cocks its head, its expressionless gold mask looking at it, waves it up in the air and hobbles over to its cart, puts its arm in, and you see it pulls out a broken candlestick. A simple one that you would have on a table. Not a big long one, but a small one that would hold a small candle. And you can see that it's broken because it's been bent in some way, and therefore it would not be able to be set on a table very well, and it's of bronze, a little tarnished, and it gestures to you, and
I reach out and I grab it, and I kind of do like a thank you nod, and I'll just stick it in my pack.
And then you see it takes this cloth and stuffs it back into the stack, which you now notice has more things than just metal objects. Mismatched clothes and rocks of peculiar colors, things like that. Vidius,
18.
You rolled. Okay. You don't see much of anything of use. Again, everything is usually broken and mismatched or tattered. And that's because people do that. They just give whatever to these people. At a glance, you can't really see anything of explicit value.
Seeing what Alandros did, I infer that these people are traders. So I probably open my pack and start looking for a cloth. As I'm looking around, I pull a weathered one with a faded symbol. I look at it and I immediately stuff it back in my pack and then just pull out a different cloth.
Okay.
Hand it to that guy.
Yep. It grabs again a ration cloth and looks at it, hands it back to you. It was already given a cloth, so specifically a ration cloth. It knows enough that it can tell it's the same.
It needs to be something different.
Do I have a broken sword sheath?
The black rose.
No.
I was going to get
You rifle through your pockets and you actually pull out a weathered Acroan copper piece. Faded so much so that you almost can't see the insignia on it. It means nothing to you. You found it once when you were a small boy underneath the arena. Someone had dropped it and had fallen into where you were being kept. You've kept it ever since.
Suppose I'll part with this.
You see, they inspect it, nod their head, wave it up in the air, go over to their little cart, start rummaging around, and it pulls out a broken drum, like a small one. Hands it to you.
Thank you.
I would kind of lean in to Adelphos as he's looking for things while he's making the trade, and I would scoff and say to him, "It seems that he deals in trash. Maybe you should give him that rose." And then just walk away, kind of in disgust.
And you see, as that happens, he begins to pull his cart away, satisfied with the trades that he's made. And you continue on your journey, as the clinking and clattering of his cart fades ever distant. Then you move closer and closer to Setessa. Okay, you approach Setessa, and you see it comes up rather quickly, opposed to walking to grand city gates like you are used to doing in the main poleis. Instead, it almost just appears out of nowhere. The trees grow larger, and in these trees you see are mixed in buildings. You can see almost living with the nature itself, this large city springs up out of nowhere. On the outskirts, you see animals being tended to by various people. And as you get closer in, you see there is a hustle and bustle about, and most everybody you see are women and children. In fact, you see more children than you really have ever seen, and they are running everywhere. And you see that nobody is really disciplining any of their children at all. They can kind of do whatever. And you see some run up to you and sort of give you funny faces and run away, while others stop and whisper as you pass by, obviously knowing that you are outsiders.
Okay, would Alondros know anything about Setessa?
Roll a history check.
Velasa would just be making faces back at the kids and kind of goofing around.
They love it. You can see a lot of the kids are more associating with you because they notice that you are a little more playful. Would you roll?
19.
Yeah, so you know that Karametra, who is the goddess of life and nature, asks that her followers take in those who are needy. And Setessa is the capital of orphans. There are actually groups of people that travel Theros and collect orphans that have nowhere to go and bring them back to Setessa to be raised. And that children, because they're innocent, kind of have free reign in Setessa. They can kind of go wherever they want and kind of do whatever they want because they're kids. And you also know that it's populated mostly by women because when men come of age, when boys come of age, they're invited to go out and experience the world. And most oftentimes they leave and don't come back. And you do remember that most of the army at Neolantis that were Setessans were women.
Interesting.
Adelphos would probably just be sulking because he never got free reign as a child. He never really had a childhood.
You look on jealously at these kids.
Theseus would actually think kind of the same. He would be very confused, and then also a little jealous as well as the freedom that their parents would allow them to kind of just run free and do as they please.
Mm-hmm. You see, as you're sort of walking deeper into the city and seeing what's going on, at the corner of your eye, you see a set of guards in Setessan armor, wielding bows and arrows and scimitars. Say, you there, stop.
I'm assuming he's
Pointing at everybody. Yeah. They come over and they say, are you the ones that they're calling the heroes of Neolantis?
Well, that depends. Is that a good thing if we are, or a bad thing?
It's a simple question.
I'll never turn the title of hero down.
Same as I.
That would be a yes.
Follow us. And they begin walking away briskly.
I follow after.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get bummed out because I don't need to play with the kids anymore, and I just walk with them.
I'm thrilled. My character's not loving all the children.
You follow them, and they lead you to a central tree in the middle of what you assume is the middle of this community. It's larger than the rest, and more open, and actually has multiple levels built into the tree itself. And you go in, and you are greeted by an older-looking woman. She says, our heroes. Welcome to Setessa.
Thank you for having us.
We heard of your exploits from our returning army, and actually, I need your help.
Well, what can we do?
Is that right?
There's a bit of a mix-up. You see, when we were approached about this alliance, you know of that, correct?
An alliance of...
Well, those who...
Against Neolantis?
Correct.
Yes.
Well, it was...
Abdo set that up.
Correct. The people of Setessa turned it down. One of our own collected an army themselves and went anyway. Now, that would normally be a problem if they were to pay recompense for their mistake and own up to what they did, but it seems that there has been some sort of forgetfulness happening. And so we need witnesses in Fella's trial to confirm that she did indeed take an army to Neolantis and did indeed bring it back with you in tow.
But wait, I thought we came here to stop the beast.
You see a flash of surprise and fear go across her eyes. She leans in close and says, What?
We were told we were to slay a beast.
Who told you that? She looks very, very confused. And she says, I don't understand. Well, whatever it is, it will come up in court. Follow me.
Love jury duty, so yeah, let's go.
Legally obliged to go.
I'm sure
Quite thrilled about this.
He's like, oh, yeah.
There's a little pep in your goat step.
What's a jury?
What is democracy?
What is
Let
freedom?
me tell you all about this.
So as you begin to inform Adelphos of legal proceedings in Theros, you are led to a different area. And this one is actually a natural cave system that goes underground. She says, Thela is contained here. The trial will be this afternoon. I'm hoping you don't have to put it to that. Like you can talk her into her senses of being honest about what happened. Your reputation precedes you, and I've even heard tell that the Cult of Thorns has mysteriously vanished. You wouldn't have anything. The Cult of Horns has mysteriously vanished. You wouldn't have anything to do with that, would you?
Oh, that cult. That's, oh, yes.
We're always extinguishing cults and such, so...
Kind of lose track, they get lost, and...
You can see she's not amused by the hubris of you two. And she says, well, humility is always the best quality in heroes these days.
Absolutely.
So, thank you for what it is that you have done, if you actually did do it. And she says, I will see you this afternoon. She walks away.
A reward would be nice.
Did we catch her name by chance?
I don't think so.
Nope. She never introduced
So
herself.
the jury is the one who
Is there anyone else
decides
around
the
us
person's fate.
that we could, like...
There's a couple guards standing in
Kind
front
of
of the
like,
cave.
you know, nudge,
Of
like, hey, what's her name?
sorts. Of
Yeah.
sorts.
So do you ask?
Yeah.
So you ask a guard what her name was. And
I'd like to ask, who is that? What's her name? You know, like, what's her purpose? Like, who is she, basically?
he goes,
What's your deal?
that was Nikita. She's the eldest on the council. Karametra's right hand. And you would know this, Alondros. Setessa claims Karametra as their leader, as their sovereign. They claim her as queen. But because she is not around to be the queen, there is always a eldest councilwoman or council person who sort of runs the show. And they are considered Karametra's right hand.
What's a government?
Well. It's like
Alondra, let me tell you.
Okay. What do all do?
And talk to her.
I feel like they want us to incriminate Thela, and I just personally have no desire to do that.
Yeah.
Should we talk
What's our game plan? Yeah, what if they bring up Ella?
Like they,
Are we going to throw her under the bus? Or what?
I certainly don't want to.
the cat's already out of the bag on that.
I guess so.
But I think that we should stay as neutral as possible in this instance, as to not take sides, for we do not know what the motives of both sides may be.
You are wise.
Thank you.
Also, it should be thrown under the wagon, not the bus.
Fair point.
What is bus?
All right.
Who is Bus?
So what do you all do?
I want to go talk to this person who's on trial.
Thela.
Bella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to go talk to them and hear their side.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
So you go down into the caves. Does everyone go?
Mm-hmm.
You go down into the caves, and you see that in these natural outcroppings, there have been wooden bars put in place. It's very minimal security, and you even see from time to time a young child wandering down in, looking around into the cells and wandering out.
Somebody should honestly get a leash on them.
These children
It's
are
becoming
unhinged.
it's a problem.
And then you hear from a cell, well, that's how we do it here in Setessa. Children are pure and free, just like nature. And you recognize the voice to be Thela's. You see that they are sitting on a stone outcropping that makes a crude bed, just kind of staring out of their cell at you.
Hey, old friend, want us to get you out of here?
Have we met before?
You really don't remember?
They sigh deeply. I suppose you are here to tell me that I took an army to Neolantis, recruited you to come back. Is that what you were told?
Can I roll to see if this is like an act, like getting her story straight?
Roll an insight check.
18.
You can tell, though a little bit smug, they're telling the truth.
Can I do, like, detect magic?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to roll anything, it's a spell.
Okay. Yes.
You can just cast it. You burn up a spell slot, you cast detect magic. There's no kind of magic here.
Stella, you genuinely don't remember us?
I've never met you.
What is your recollection of the last week or so?
I was on a hunt.
For anything in particular? Food?
No. Every season, soldiers are allowed to take some time off for a hunt. It's how we appreciate and worship Nylia, which you all know to be the goddess of the hunt and of the seasons. Me and my partner went on a hunt. We'd been gone for 3 weeks. When I returned, I was arrested and told I went on some escapade to Neolantis.
Is your partner also condemned of this?
No. In fact, everyone that knows them said they were on a hunt. No, it doesn't seem to count if they say it was with me, because there are more than a few voices that say I was in Neolantis.
Someone must have impersonated you. If you were on a hunt for 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago we were working our way to Neolantis.
You all do remember that the Setessans showed up to the fight pretty late. They showed up like a day or two before you guys took the city.
So it would have been like 11 days ago. Or a little more, almost 2 weeks.
Yeah. A little over 2 weeks.
Where is your partner now?
They live in the market district. They're not a soldier, they're an apothecary.
Their name?
Their name is Hira.
Do you know anybody that had anything against you before you were arrested? Good question.
You see, they kind of shrug their shoulders and they say, I command the Summer Nexus, which is a coveted position, though everyone in my command seems to like me. I'm not easy on them, but you can't be as a leader. They seem to respect me enough to, you see, they pull up, air quotes, follow me into a war.
What can you tell us, and I lean in, of the beast?
What beast? I've hunted many beasts.
A monster terrorizing the city.
See, they look so confused. Is that really what's happening? I shouldn't be here. I should be out defending the city. That's horrible. Who told you that?
You did.
I have never met you before today.
How do you think I knew your name was Stella?
Most people know my name here.
We're not from here.
Doesn't matter. I've heard that the heroes of Neolantis were invited to Setessa by Thela. I assumed, and looking at all of you, 2 Tritons, 2 Acroans, and a satyr dressed like a scholar from Melitus, looks at you particularly. You're not from around here. I assumed you would make up those heroes.
Thela, who, if not you, would gain from going to war?
They shrug their shoulders. They say, I have no idea. I mean, what was gained there? I heard it was a bit of a flop. The city was conquered, and that was about it.
This imposter Thela clearly wants something. Wanted us here. There's no beast. Then maybe this imposter Thela wanted us here, so we could condemn you.
Roll me an insight check, Adelphos.
8.
It wasn't that hard. You could tell by the way Nikita reacted to when you mentioned the beast that is true.
If you were to be cast out of your station, who would fill your spot?
See, they think for a moment, and they say, well, Who's up for promotion? Let's see.
Gonna make rank.
And you see they begin to categorize people in their head. You can see that they're focusing, and you can tell that they know the people whom they serve very well. They say, actually, it would have been Lindos. Lindos would have been next to take my place had I died, or, heaven forbid, be cast out of Setessa.
I don't think that there's anything else she can tell us. Either she's playing dumb or has no idea what's going on.
I think it's the latter. Can I roll an insight check?
For what?
See if she is telling the truth.
It doesn't matter. Even with a low insight, you can tell that this person is being truthful.
The army that supposedly left and fought, have any of them returned? And if so,
Most all of them.
why are they not in here with you?
Because they followed my command. Are children held responsible for the follies of their parents? Are civilizations held to the standard that their leaders bring them to? Tell me, at Neolantis, did you slaughter the women and children and unarmed men there? Or did you let them be, because they were participating in something perhaps out of their control?
I believe that we let them be. The same cannot be said for Neolantis.
Well, here, whoever has the responsibility, it is theirs, and theirs alone.
Where could we find these soldiers that went with you?
At the Summer Nexus, it is about a half-day's journey south of here.
Doesn't seem like
Yes,
the time.
it's the watchtower that you're stationed at.
Correct.
Her trial was later today,
This
correct?
evening, yeah.
Okay.
Don't know if there's anything more to gain.
What I figure.
Yeah.
Well, we're grateful for what you've told us. We may come back in here later based upon any further evidence we find, but we will see what else we can fish out.
Thank you. Though I don't think I've known you very long, I can tell you are good people. Whatever happens, be true to yourselves, and I will have no qualms. Even if that means my removal.
Much appreciated.
See, they kind of lean back and just begin to stare into space.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that we begin walking out.
Yep, you can leave. Yeah.
I feel like this whole thing has been a ruse.
Who is this imposter fellow? This
It
fellow.
has something to do with Abdul.
I don't know, but if we can find Lindo, maybe we should go talk to him.
I would also like to talk to Hera as well.
Hira.
To see if
Hira.
you know any of, to hear their side of the story.
I think she goes out to hear it first. Personally, just to keep you up to date with what I'm thinking, whoever did this, I think they have more to gain from the political conquering of another city rather than rank. Something to keep in mind as we question people.
Mm-hmm.
Why lead an entire army just to?
That it's rather for a larger scale than just personal gain, yeah.
You make your way to the market district. As you get there, you see various plants of exotic shapes and sizes presented for sale, spices, meats being cooked, and a variety of vendors trying to sell their wares. You remember that you were told Hira was an apothecary, and as you begin to look around, roll me a perception check.
11.
9.
14.
Thalassa, this hustle and bustle, again, of mostly women and children roaming around. Out of the corner of your eye, you see a small apothecary hut that appears to be closed at the moment. There's no signage denoting who it belongs to. You can maybe infer that it could be Hira's, based on the fact that it's closed.
Guys, do you see this store over here? It's a little apothecary.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it looks like it's closed, but no harm in knocking.
By all means.
Knock. No response.
Well, nobody's home.
You knock again?
Yeah, I would have to.
I'll take care of this. And I walk up and try and pick the lock.
Okay.
Clearly, Bella doesn't know about the beast, but and only the higher ladies seem to know. Politicians. And
Look at you knowing all the government things now.
I know I'm a free man.
Alonzo's really rubbed off on you, didn't he?
Alright.
That would be 23.
Yeah, so you go right up And as you begin to put your tools into the lock, you realize it's not even locked.
Oh, good.
You lift sort of the handle and kind of go in.
Got it.
You enter,
That was amazing.
and you see
Easy,
My
Dad.
friend-
No problem. Easily.
You walk in.
Mastered his craft.
You walk in and you see various plants, dried and otherwise dead or drying, hanging from the ceiling everywhere. A strong, strong aroma fills the air of many spices, different perfumes, some good and some bad. And you're just in the doorway now, but you see a small counter sort of there in the common area, and then a door that leads to what is likely a home or a back shop.
As I peek my head in, I just say hello.
And you hear from the back behind the counter, "Go away!
I'm afraid we can't.
Please leave. I'm closed."
Are
Are
you?
The door wasn't locked.
We're here on behalf of Thela.
Then you hear someone get up out of a chair or bed, you're not sure, and you see a woman come to the door, and you see her eyes red from crying, her hair matted and frayed, as she wears an apothecary's robe and apron. She says, "Thela sent you?"
Are you Hira?
"Yes, come in, come in." She invites you all in.
Go in.
As you sit down sort of in the cluster of everything around you, some on crude stools, others on barrels full of something you're not quite sure, but by the smell you can assume it's some sort of medicine or plant. You see she gets you all cups of water. "How is my fellow doing?"
She seems confused.
As are we.
But you
Wouldn't you be confused if you go off on a vacation and come home and say that you've sent an army across half the globe and conquered a city? You can see she begins to get emotional when she says that.
Yes, it's immensely confusing meeting somebody and thinking you're getting to know them and conquering a city with them.
You see she kind of freezes. "Oh, you're the heroes of Neolantis." And you see she begins to take the water back from you.
Excuse me. No.
In our defense,
In your
Who
defense,
are you to speak to us like that?
this is my house. You can choose to sit here and tell me what Thela sent you to say, or you can get out. Because as I see it, you are the ones that stand between her removal from this entire civilization, or her reinstatement as head of the Summer Nexus. And from the sound of it, you would prefer the former.
It is precisely by that point that we are your only lifeline. We are here to be a neutral system that is to judge people on what is truth and what is lies. We are the only ones standing between her release and her execution. So I would best say that you would do well working with us rather than against us.
You see she kind of freezes. She says, "All right, why are you here?"
We are here to find the truth.
all truth and nothing but the truth.
"So help me, Karametra, what do you need to know?"
What were you doing over the last few weeks?
"Hunting."
With
What?
Thela.
"Yes, as a matter of fact. We passed through the Cypress Gates after receiving Nylea's blessing and did our hunt in the Nessian Wood. It is good hunting there. Very few people have the luxury of doing that. Something we've been wanting to do for some time."
Do you know of a dangerous beast in the Nylea Wood?
The Nessian
Or
Wood?
the Nessian Wood?
There are many dangerous beasts there. We've hunted some.
One that has been attacking people.
You see, she looks very confused. "On this side of the wall?
Yes.
No, I know nothing of that." What do you mean? Is that true? Is that really happening?"
Because this imposter Thela, as we will call it, that was at Neolantis, told us to come back here to vanquish a beast. And then the head of your government
Yeah, Nikita.
seemed concerned when we mentioned that.
You see she begins to get very emotional again. This time more out of fear than sadness for her partner. And she begins to cry. She says, I'm sorry. There's just so much going on right now. Never mind.
With what? Anything will help? What's the situation?
Well,
and I kind of go over and comfort her.
The summer, it's coming on late. The harvests are failing. We've been praying to Nylia that she'll bring it sooner, but there's something wrong. And I won't be able to get much of my harvest in to produce the remedies I need to make a living, and with Stella in custody, it's just a poor time for everything.
Well, we will do what we can to see that she is justly released.
Might you have some sort of a trinket or something to prove you were together in the hunt? Something that she might only know?
We took a large antelope, brought the meat back, dried it for the winter, and we have the antlers. But other than that, it's not much.
Keep the antlers. They could be proof that you were here in the time.
Proof has nothing to do with it. It's one word against an entire armies. And beyond that, many others who were in Neolantis that saw them. From what I understand, there has been correspondence between Setessa and Neolantis and even Akros, confirming that Thela was there.
Do you know of anyone that might be wanting to harm Thela in some form?
No.
For some greater plan?
She's well liked by all. Loved even by her subordinates. Gods only know why anybody would put a mortal in this situation for personal gain.
Might there be anybody that everyone does not get along in great power?
I mean, there's some talk that Nikita rose to her position through subterfuge and perhaps even murdering the last senior councilman, but there was no evidence of that, and she has done nothing to harm or wrong any Setessans. Other than that, we live pretty harmoniously here. That's why we wanted to stay out of the conflict.
Is Nikita maybe in a way jealous of the love that Thela receives from the city?
I'm not sure. We don't see much of her. She spends most of her time in the central tree.
Doing what?
Civic duties. Communing with Karametra, supplementing to Nylia, making sure parties that bring back children are properly placed, and lots of responsibilities she holds.
Who else is on the high city command?
There are 3 others. Technically, Thela is a part of the council as well.
So there's only one other person?
No, there are 2. There are 4 in total.
There are 4? Okay, 4.
There are 4 in total.
Thela is a militaristic.
Yes, the Summer Nexus is in charge of mainly the military and defense of Setessa, and whoever heads the Summer Nexus is on the council. The Spring Nexus is in charge of making sure provisional goods are met here, and the winter to make sure that physical needs are met, and then the fall, who is closest to Karametra, and the right hand of the senior council, and that is Nikita.
Is your worship of your goddess maybe in conflict with the worship of Karametra? Would you say?
My goddess? What do you mean? I worship Karametra.
Lady of the Hunt.
Nylia. We worship both.
Oh.
Karametra is the queen of Setessa. Nylia, her daughter, is the queen of the hunt and the seasons. Both are revered, but one more like a queen and the other like a princess. I don't know if I can help you out anymore. The trial is soon. I suppose I will see you there.
Indeed.
Does she have spices and stuff to purchase?
You want to ask her?
Yeah. We will do what we can to take this information and use it well. In the meantime, we are travelers, and I do like the finer goods. You maybe have some spices of which we could purchase.
Perhaps another time. I'm not in the right constitution to be dealing with business matters now.
Understandable.
Please, I need some time before the trial. I'll see you there.
As we're walking out, I just anyone else that you guys? I think we're not really going to get anywhere with speaking to people that have less influence. I feel like we'd really have to work our way up the chain of command, talk to Nikita or some of these other well-known people that have influence. I feel like that's what this stunt was, some kind of stunt of influence.
Yes.
Yes, and she was a hot mess, honestly.
Yeah.
She needs some time.
So what do you do? It's now about midday. You've got a couple hours before the trial.
I want to try and find somebody I can buy healing potions from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. It's pretty easy to find. There are various different shops. You can pick a litter. Most of them look more holistic apothecary type shops.
Go just try and find the nicest one.
Okay. You see that there's one a little bit larger and a little bit better kept than the others.
Yeah.
You walk in.
All about the brand.
Got about the brand.
Welcome to Telfay's Elixir. How may I help you? You see an elderly woman standing behind the counter.
Oh, I'm just looking for something for my back pain.
Oh, why don't you lie down and rest? That's what I find is the best.
Never thought of that one.
We try to screen our patients here to make sure it's not any seekers, if you know what I mean.
That's what you get when you go to the uppity place.
Yeah, that's what you get. Should have gone to the seedy place.
But health potions, I do.
Honestly, just health potions.
Oh, good. Well, I have what most all have, but she leans over, puts her hand up to her mouth. But mine is a little better. You can buy a regular health potion for 25 gold. You can buy a greater health potion for 100 gold. Or you can buy a superb health potion, the best on the market, for 250 gold.
I'm just gonna get 2 of the greater.
Alright, that would be 200 gold, please.
I would also like 2 of the greater.
2 for you as well.
2 greater, 1 normal.
Alright, that's 225 from you.
Actually, make that 2 greater and 2 normal.
250. She smiles as she scribbles out her ledger and writes it again.
Probably being freaking scammed.
Anything else I can help you with?
I don't have much else I need to acquire.
Well, when hopefully one of these potions saves your life, be sure, if anyone watching, is made known it came from my shop.
You want us to give you a plug when we're in the middle of fighting something, when we have received no discount or anything on the items that we just purchased.
You could have.
What's in it for us?
Who's to
It's
say
free advertising for you.
Who's to say I don't normally sell my potions at 30, 120, and 275?
Well, do
It
you?
seems pretty foolish for strangers to walk into a town they're unfamiliar with, go to a store they know nothing about, make demands that seem preposterous. I would say, if it saved your life, the least you could do is say where you got it. Because if it didn't, well, then you'd be dead.
I'm not doing that. And I walk out.
That's stupid. That's
Never going to that
Have
store
a nice
again.
day as you all leave.
I hate that store. Lady's pompous.
We just have to go to the Gucci of health potions
Well,
over
I'm
here.
honestly never going there again. Give me the seedy guy in the alleyway with a trench coat.
Where's the guy giving us bent spoons and forks? See if he has any health potions.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'll
go on
take his
by
potions.
sundown.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to do before you head off to the trial?
I feel like we should try and find Nikita.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe keep the conversation as brief as we can.
Yeah.
Also, we probably shouldn't go around talking about this beast with everyone.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
don't think that's a very good idea.
Don't
it
want to
doesn't seem like a lot of people
Yeah.
know. Like, I feel like everything we learned about this place is a lie.
Yeah.
So as you make your way to find Nikita, you go back to the central tree. The hour of the trial is approaching, and you see as you enter, somebody of some sort of official look comes up to you, and she says, "Now, am I going out on a limb to assume that you are the heroes of Neolantis?"
Berlin will hold you, so we are.
Good. This came in for you yesterday.
She pulls out
A scroll.
Ooh. Who would like the scroll?
I would like it, please.
We should all look at it real fast.
I want to look at it. That is
This is an actual scroll with an actual wax seal on
I
it.
want to read it, because I've been the one doing the case study.
You should describe it in detail.
Nice.
Stained parchment.
We are looking at a
Off-white.
It is eggshell. Okay,
with
so
a bee
Yellow wax.
in
gold.
yeah, so she holds it out, waiting for somebody to take it.
Shall we open it?
Are you able to read?
Actually,
That's fair.
roll.
I've been-
Nope, roll to see if you're able to read. Straight up roll.
I'll take a look at this.
That's a 9.
You can't read.
You're so proud of a 9 when you can't read.
I can't read.
You can make out shapes. You can make out letters in some words, but you can't read. Does that make sense?
Perhaps I will begin
It
to
says
teach.
Neolantis on it.
You know that there's a big word with an N on it.
Someone read it.
Just you go for it.
Oh,
Oh, okay, I'll go for it.
Here,
Let me read.
Yeah, you're the skull.
Someone,
yeah.
I will.
So you see, Alondros goes over, grabs the scroll.
But I wanted to read it.
Alondros is reading it.
I'm reading the scroll.
I should have
Listen
read
up.
it.
Heroes of Neolantis, I am writing to you because I believe I have found some useful information for your impending journey to find Apollonia. I will be accompanying Proteus to Meletis for continued talks on the new alliance. Meet me there after your dealings in Setessa, and I can relay to you all I know. Perhaps I could even send you off. And Theseus. Interesting. The last encounter you had with your father left him nearly as upset as when you left Acros. If I were you, I would stay clear of him, but should you run into each other again in Meletis, perhaps be a little more gracious than you were in Neolantis. Just a thought from an old friend. Looking forward to our meeting in Meletis. Faustus Basilius. Interesting.
Did you read that out loud?
Yes, I did. Definitely read that out loud.
Fun.
Expo.
Well,
Explain yourself.
And that's where we'll end this episode.
Hey, do you love everything D&D? Be sure to subscribe on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for updates. We're also on Patreon. For only $2 a month, you can get loads of exclusive content, including our after show. Thanks as always, and we'll catch you next time on PG-DND.